This was our first job of the day. We had 40 or so heifers to ultrasound. There was a bull or two in with that group. The bull came in to get poured. I kind of stood up in the chute and didn't realize I had my head in a pinch spot. And the operator chute released the squeeze, then my head was crushed in there in between the two pieces of metal. Basically, I had several skull fractures. The best way to describe it is when you take an egg and not break it completely, but like fracture the shell, and it's kind of still in place, but it's all fractured. The list of skull fractures is about a paragraph long. They replaced all three, or at least two of the little bones inside the middle ear. Because of the fractures on my right side associated with the ear, there was nerve damage to some of the cranial nerves, one of which controls the muscles that move the eyeball. So I never really lost vision. I couldn't make my right eye focus where I wanted it to focus. Basically, I had double vision. And so for quite a while, I wore a patch over my right eye. One of the doctors came in and asked me if I knew how lucky I was. And I said, well, I think so. And then I remember him saying, I don't think you are. And each chute is a little bit different. Have different points that either pinch points or strike points where if the head comes open, we've had people get hit by head gates that come open by the sides or opening, or obvious pinch points like in the head gate or the tailgate. Other pinch points that maybe aren't quite as obvious, like the spot where I get my head into doesn't help that I'm 6 feet 8 inches tall, so that unfortunately helped me get into that spot too. When we're working cattle, I try and have a quick inventory of like who's going to be up around the chute and try and know where each one of them are at all times. Sometimes that involves going through some of that with the chute before we start. It'll actually take several minutes and go through on where not to stand, where to stand. In the pen with cattle, where's your escape plan? Always be ready. We make a special effort to have pretty docile cattle. Our kids help sort and do a lot of the things in our own operation, but you never know. Tame cattle can get torqued off once in a while, and so you just always be aware. And like I said, never trust them fully because they're still animals and can be a little bit unpredictable at times. To know if something would turn on them, like where they're going to go, if there's a gate or a fence to climb or something to get behind, and to either be far enough so they don't get kicked or be right up there so it doesn't do as much damage. We've always tried to do all those things, but things still do happen. The accident happened to me could have been prevented if I'd have been paying attention enough probably to not have my head in that spot, but it happened, and so we try and be thankful that it wasn't worse than it was and try and learn from it. Thankful that I can still be here to tell the story.